Mary Mallon, aka Typhoid Mary, was an Irish-born American cook who's believed to have infected up to 122 people with typhoid fever, killing 3, and with up to 50 suspected but unconfirmed. She was the first person in the U.S. to be identified as an asymptomatic carrier of typhoid fever. Mary was born on September 23rd in 1869 in Cookstown, Ireland, and it's thought that she was born with typhoid fever because her mother was infected while pregnant with Mary. In 1884, at the age of 15, Mary moved to the U.S. where she lived with her aunt and uncle and worked as a maid before eventually becoming a cook for affluent families. She worked as a cook in the New York City area for 8 different families from 1900 to 1907. Out of these 8 families, 7 contracted typhoid. George Soper was an investigator who was hired by an Oyster Bay property owner after an outbreak happened over there. Before this, it wasn't thought that typhoid was something that affluent families had. This was something that was thought to be more of a slum area issue. But it was hard to track Mary because every time a family got sick, she would relocate and find a new family to work with. Soper eventually did track her down and met her in the kitchen of a Park Avenue penthouse where she was working. And when he accused her of spreading the disease, this enraged Mary and she threatened him with a carving fork. On March 19th in 1907, Mary was sentenced to quarantine on North Brother Island in Riverside Hospital. She was forced to give stool and urine samples 3 times a week, and she suffered from a nervous breakdown after her arrest and forcible transportation to the hospital. Authorities even suggested removing her gallbladder, but she refused and claimed that she didn't believe that she was a carrier of the disease. She sent samples to an independent New York laboratory, and all these samples actually came back negative for typhoid. After 2 years and 11 months, Mary was freed from quarantine, but had to give assurance by affidavit that she would stop working as a cook. Mary took a job as a laundry worker after this, which didn't pay as well as the cook position that she had. And after hurting her arm, she returned to being a cook. And again, it seemed like everywhere she worked, there was an outbreak of typhoid. And just like before, she fled every time there was an outbreak happen. She eventually was tracked down again and quarantined again at Riverside Hospital on North Brother Island, where she spent the rest of her life. And Mary died of pneumonia on November 11, 1938, at the age of 69.